Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward. Welcome, my haunted hearts, to Paranormal Heart Podcast, paranormal talk with heart and soul. Tonight's segment is streaming live on United Public Radio Network, 107.7 New Orleans, 105.3 the Gulf Coast, YouTube, and any place you find your favorite podcast. I'm your host, Kat Ward. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. First, I just want to mention, if you're looking for a great podcast, join my friends Justin Cancelleri and Eric Skerback on Paratruth Reborn. Explore the mysteries beyond the veil every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. on UPRN, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. So, folks, tonight we welcome back the legendary Ron Morehead, researcher, adventurer, and the man behind the iconic Sierra Sounds. His lifelong journey began with the search for a biological creature, but over the years has expanded into the mysterious and the ethereal. I always have a hard time with that word. From physical evidence to high strangeness and consciousness, Ron's perspective bridges both worlds. So join me as we explore his remarkable evolution on understanding the Bigfoot phenomena. So welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Kat. Good to be here. Yeah. By the way, if you just put an E in front of cereal, you got it.
Okay.
Cereal.
Yes, yeah. Never thought of that. Hey, that's clever.
That's how I remembered it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, first of all, I just want to say hello to Heidi in the chat. Hello. She's from Boulder, Colorado, I believe that is. And she says, hello, Ron. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. There she is. Just want to wait a couple of minutes until some people sneak in. Some people. Oh, hello there. How are you? Nice to see you. He says hello to Heidi as well. Yep. So, Ron, because I don't always go live, I always like to wait a couple of minutes until people realize, oh, she's live at 6. So, yeah, this is going to be a great episode. Like I told you before we recorded, I had some people message me, say how excited they were that you're going to be on again. So,
Well, I'm excited to be here. Yeah.
Thank you.
This is what I love to do.
And everyone loves listening to you. So you're a fascinating gentleman.
Oh, well, thank you for that. That's argumentable.
Well, myself and my haunted hearts, that's what I call my listeners. They all say so.
Oh, good. Nice to hear. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, so as people trickle in, I'll highlight some of the questions that they have, if they have any, and or comments. So let's just jump into it if you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
So when you captured the Sierra Sounds, what aspect of the vocalizations most challenged your scientific understanding?
All of them.
Oh.
They were very interactive with each other. And of course, when they started out at the beginning, they were very aggressive sounding. So that kind of got our attention a little more, because you didn't know what their intentions were. Something new for all of us, So anyway, but they kind of calmed down to where they were kind of chattering amongst themselves, and that's where we got a lot of recordings at a time. And after we went up there several times, we started recording more and more. And it wasn't until Alan Berry went up there, who was an investigative reporter, who ended up capturing the ones with his recorder that he sent off and had them analyzed by the University of Wyoming, and to show that they were legitimate. There was no playing in it, where there were real sounds, and they were exceeding. Actually, they found out through a year-long study at the University of Wyoming that they were beyond the human range. A lot of them were outside the human range, let's put it that way. So what captured my attention the most was the thought of them. What could they be?
Yeah.
What could they be? They're huge. Whatever, their voice was huge, and the tracks we saw they represented something very, very big. So you just don't know. And you're wondering all the time, wondering.
You must have been excited like a kid in a candy shop.
I was. Yeah, I was 29 when this started for me in 1971, and it was just, yeah, it was very exciting because I'm kind of adventurous anyway, always have been at heart, and so I just kind of got enthralled with it and got really excited to being up there, and when these things would come around, I may not show it, but I was excited.
Yeah, the adventurous side of you, because I think, if memory serves, you were a pilot and I think scuba diver.
All those, yeah, that
Yeah,
pilot, scuba diver, all. Yeah, I had a ranch with horses, had 14 horses, an Arabian stallion, and uh, quite well. If I wanted to do it, I just did it, and
nice.
I didn't want to be these old guys. So I wish I'd have done that when I was younger. So when
Yeah.
I was younger, I did it or tried. I had a good business and I organized it well and had some good managers, and I was able to
Mhm.
spread myself out and head across the world and just went into Peru and Bolivia and Russia, Siberia and Nepal, and it was all exciting and always something new to learn. And I was doing the best. I had a really charmed life, I guess you might say. It's been excellent, and I'm just very happy for it that I've had all the adventures that I've been able to have and been able to make them happen and actually and be here to respond to them. That's what's important.
Yep.
It's not the issue that comes in front of you. It's how you respond to it.
Hmm. Yeah, you're just very fortunate to be able to travel to all these amazing places.
Yeah, I worked hard as a younger man. I was
Hmm.
29 when it started, but prior to that, I worked a lot. I didn't know what fun was like. I didn't get in the mountains. I didn't do hardly anything till I met my good friend Bill McDowell, who was part of this hunting group, and I got involved in that. And then all of a sudden, my life just changed into, wow, I like the mountains. I like this. I like these big trees and these
Yep.
springs and all the wilderness and all that stuff. Up till then, I was a pilot, but I flew over it. I really wasn't involved in it. Walking around, look at the shrubs or something.
Mm.
When I
Have
was
you?
a boy up in Alaska, I did. I used to run the creeks up there and see how many moose I could find.
So, have you ever revisited the original location? And do you feel, if you have, do you feel the energy there has changed over time?
Well, I visited. Yeah, the last time I visited was 2018 with David Paulides, Missing 411.
Hmm.
He wrote those series of books, and uh, I got some. And yeah, I was there, and they were filming me up at the camp. That was the last time I was there. The whole California was on fire at the time, and it just we wasn't sure we were going to get out because we had to get packed in with a mule team, and so it was pretty smoky, but it was interesting.
Hmm.
And he did it. I had about 15 minutes on his Missing 401 The Hunted. I think I got about 15 minutes section on that DVD that he made.
Hmm.
Uh, Interviewed me around the camp there. And yeah, well, I think David Johnson, one of the elders, his dad's passed away. Warren Johnson was his dad.
Hmm.
He took the filming crew up there year before last, year before this one, I think it was. And uh, that's the last time I think anybody's been up there because I guess the
Hmm.
trail, a lot of it's been uh, well messed up from the
Overgrown.
fires.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Overgrown in the fires, yeah, the
Yeah.
fires and the trees, everything makes it kind of a different looking area, I guess.
Wow. So, what
But
is? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the space is still there. The camp area is still there,
Yeah.
and the big trees around the camp area there for several acres didn't burn. They underburned. You know how underburn goes, and just burns up everything underneath it. But the trees itself did catch on fire.
Hmm.
I didn't know that happened, but it happened. So actually, I flew over it after the fires in a little plane,
Hmm.
and just to look it over, and I noticed that the camp area where we were didn't burn so much. At least from the air, it did look like it burned, but you get there on
Oh,
the ground, it had burned. Yeah.
lucky.
Well, yeah,
So, what's one
yeah.
detail from the Sierra Camp stories that most people still misunderstand, if there's any?
Well, they don't realize the remoteness of it.
Hmm.
The enigmas that were going on there. Uh, some people think we still just backed up our truck with a case of beer and had a party or something, but it wasn't like that. And David Pilates showed that in his video, that how hard it is and what kind of a trip it is to get in there. And then
Hmm.
when the other filming crew went in here last year with David Johnson, they realized just how bad it was.
Yeah.
You can't explain the ruggedness of it till you experience it,
Yeah.
But I've had a few broken ribs off that trail, and just
Oh, really?
you get a horse or a mule or something that gives you trouble, and you got to have a good animal if you're going to ride in. If you're going to walk in, you're okay as long as you're
Yeah.
in good shape. And but if you're going to ride in, you really better have a good trail animal, or
Hmm.
he'll mess you up, or mess himself up or something. And that happened with Scott Nelson, the cryptolinguist who took in a few years back. He his horse and was give us trouble, and the horse I was wrangling along with him, a riding horse. Well,
Hmm.
that's another story altogether. I don't have to get into all that, but it was quite a trip. Never did make it to camp, even though we was trying to. Things happening on the trail.
Yeah. I've only
My
ridden a
nose
horse
itches.
twice in my youth, so I didn't find it that easy.
Well, some people, I said, well, you know how to ride a horse? Oh, yeah, I ride a horse. Well, that means they got on with 25-cent ponies in a little grocery store somewhere,
Yeah. Yeah. Those
They don't
two.
realize how much you got to do sometimes to help a horse, when you're riding it. You got to know how to ride.
Yeah.
When to go up and when to go down, when to lean back, when to grab his tail, when to put your boots between his ears and stuff like that, Well, that's kind of a joke.
I was trying to picture that.
You kind of do. It's almost like that. I used to like to wrangle because if you're wrangling something, you can hold on to the rope, and that pulls you backwards.
Okay.
And that's a good thing if the horse is going down a pretty steep area. And a lot of switchbacks and different, things to watch out for up there. Going to any backcountry area like that where a lot of people don't ever go, there's a lot of things to know about. Anyway, that's my answer, I guess.
Okay.
Forgot the question now.
That's okay. If there was any details from the camp that most people still misunderstand, was the question. But
Oh, well, I don't know. Some people don't realize. They think it's an actual cabin that was up there. It was just a group of trees that grew in a circle with cables wrapped around them, and then deadfall leaned up against it. That's what the shelter was. And then
okay.
two trees was kind of wedged, like a V shape. And
Mhm.
we had a log that we would put in between that, and then strap it and tie it on the inside. So that was our doorway. And we packed in some foam to sleep on, and our sleeping bags, and kept them in barrels up there. And same thing with our food. So when we did have a chance to walk in, we didn't have to pack everything in or out. We could just leave it up there, which isn't the case anymore. If you pack it in, you got to pack it out. Because in 2015, the Forestry Service found out about the campsite and made it all. It had to be taken down. So, but the spot's still there.
That's interesting. So we have a question from Mike.
Oh, boy.
Hello, Mike. Thank you for being here. He says it's 8 miles in, isn't it, to the camp?
Approximately, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, Mike. 8 miles. Of course, that's counting. I think Warren came up with that number, and then everybody kind of agreed with it because it's a long trip in. If you're in good shape, you can make it okay if you're walking, but your animal's got to be in good shape too. Because we used to go up there the night before and camp the trailhead, and that way our animals got acclimated to the altitude because it's not 6,000 feet where you take off, and then once you start climbing, you climb up to 10,000 feet, and then back down, up and down, So your animals, you all need to be in shape if you're gonna make the trip. Just your lungs alone, especially if you live in the valley floor like I did. I lived down in San Joaquin Valley, and it just kind of a big change in altitude when you start getting that lighter air.
Yeah.
And,
did you have any oxygen tanks with you, or was
no,
that a thing then?
And it wasn't a thing then. Either breathe or you don't.
Oh. Pretty straightforward.
Well, my first trip up there with Donald, he he took me in. He's the one that got scared off and wouldn't go back by himself. That's how I got involved, really, because I knew them all. But it was quite strenuous, really. I was in good shape. I mean, I worked out all the time. I used to teach martial arts and stuff like that. And I was always just doing something, skiing. In wintertime I'd snow ski, summertime I'd water ski. I just always active. And I thought I was in really good shape. So he took me up there. And I realized, when you walk from 6,000 feet up to 10,000 feet and in and out and back and up and down, and the air makes a difference. And I went into Colorado one time on an adventure with some guys. They took me up to 10,000 feet. And we had little oxygen bottles, that you could take with you and just take a swig off of. That's what you should do if you're new to it, especially because that makes a difference. You can get some good air once in a while.
How did the horses fare?
Well, it depends on how good they were, which horses you had, and what kind of shape they were in. The one trip I had where, that's another story altogether, but I had a horse that just wasn't cooperating with me. And I bought him, paid $2,000-3,000 for him. The owner said, he's so good, he's trail ready, good horse, great. Well, he wasn't that way at all.
Oh.
It caused me some troubles, but that trail, again, you just don't take any horse up there. You got to be trail wise. I mean, you don't want a horse that's going to get skittish every time a rattlesnake or something's on the trail or something like that.
That wouldn't be good.
Well, it happens. I mean, I got a hat band from a 52-inch rattlesnake up there that we had to take out on the way. But anyway, it's a trip.
It sure is.
I don't know if I'll do it again or not, but people ask me, you ever going to go up there again? Well, I don't have any reason to, unless, I mean, something's still going on up there, I think, though. So according to David Johnson, who went in, I think it was last year, year before, I'm not sure which now.
Would be interesting for you to go back.
Well, I might, I would definitely ride in, just because if I found a good horse or a good mule. Mules are better than horses sometimes. They're more sure-footed. They think about things. Where a horse, he'll just go off the cliff and say, heck with it. But a mule, he'll wait and he'll think about things. And mules are good.
Stubborn, but good.
Well, that's what makes them good. I don't know about this.
Where did that go? There it is. So, are there any biological traits you still believe Bigfoot possesses, despite the more mysterious aspects?
Well, in different ones than what I've mentioned before. I think they possess. I think we possess everything they possess. Except we just haven't learned to connect with it properly. We have not been shortchanged as a human species. We've been given everything that they have been given, which I think something created them that just gave them something extra that some of them are just God, and they know how to connect with nature. They know how to connect with their vocal mechanism to create frequencies, and we have got all those things. One thing we may not have, if they've got more vocal cords than we do, which that's been suggested. It was suggested to me one time they have 7 different vocal cords. We have 2, and that means that could mean a lot right there. Of course, I hypothesize that possibly they have a ability within their vocal mechanism to create a frequency that would change their matter into energy back and forth, and that's basically what we know as cloaking or disappearing or something. What they do is just go out of your visual range, and that's set between 430 and 770 terahertz is our visual light frequency. Anything outside of that, like an eagle can see a rat from 2 miles away and go down and get it. Dolphins, everything speaks to each other and talks to each other, and they have different attributes to get them through this environment that we're in. We have a bunch of attributes that we're born with. However, we have more inside of us that we're actually created for. That's what I think the masters taught in the old days was or Christ. He said, kingdom of God is within you.
Mhm.
And he started doing a lot of miracles and things. And he said, you can do all this too. Well, I'm not walking on water yet, And years ago, if I learned how to turn water into wine, I'd been in bad shape today, probably.
I think a lot of people will be in trouble with that.
But actually, Einstein, and of course, it's been established mathematically in quantum physics, that if you can find the frequency of anything, you can change its matter.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot going on with sound frequency healing now, and you can find the right frequency. You can, if you know the frequency of the item you're dealing with, you can change its matter. And I think that's how a lot of miracles are done. The quote unquote miracles are just things that we can do that we haven't learned how yet. And you do that through, I believe, through meditation, through just allowing this what we have in us to come out and to be complete. And that's what chakras, I think, are all about, and things like that, balancing yourself.
So let's see if there's anything. Oh, just want to bring up what Mike brought up. I do believe most of Bigfoots do have their special abilities, but also believe some of them have lost it or just lost the practice of it. Do you believe that's true, Ron?
Yes. There. Answered that one quick. Well, I think a lot of them have crossbred with indigenous people over the eons of time. That's been noted in a lot of Native American lore, too. They take their women and they crossbreed. That makes them more human-like, more like us. And they would either, their abilities have been recessed sometimes or just lost. Well, I don't think they're lost, but they're recessed. And just like ours are recessed, they're in there. It's just we got to learn how. And I think that's what the young ones are here for, when the young Bigfoots, because they seem to have a training field here. When they are born in this density, this third density, they have to learn how to get along in it, but they also have to not forget who they are and not overlook what their abilities are, like we do. We just we don't believe them sometimes. We live in the Newtonian world, thinking everything's something you can touch, feel, see, or hear. You gotta have those attributes to think it's real. Well, there's more going on. There's just a lot more going on. And if you get into quantum physics, you realize that even like Christopher Brer, West Texas A&M, he says everything from the atom through the cosmos works under the rules of quantum physics. Well, it used to be years ago, quantum physics was considered only in the micro world, But no, it's throughout the universe. It's everything. So we ride on the back of Newtonian physics, quantum physics, but it's what's prevalent. If you learn how to work it and what's going on, you know what it's really all about. It's not quite so mysterious, not quite so paranormal, not quite woo-woo. It's none of that. It's just something to understand. And I think we all have to open our minds up, because you got to have an open mind for this stuff. You won't get it if you don't have. You've been trained and conditioned throughout your life, from the time of birth, to just think this is what's real and this is what's not real. And you're conditioned that way. And you got to get away from that. Not away from it, but just add to it. Let's put it that way. Can't get away from it. You live in it. So that's my answer to what was it.
And Mike, again, I know when they leave our dimension time, is that, if I'm reading that correctly, definitely slows down. Oh, yeah. When they leave our dimension, time definitely slows down. They showed me that with a dead animal, and the only reason why I know where the animal comes from, because it was the neighbor's puppy. Oh,
wow.
That poor puppy.
Yeah, I think, well, when anything steps out of our third density, it gets into the fourth, which is time, or even up higher, depending on where your frequency is. But yeah, time is different then, and that's been established by the astronauts in space and all.
Uh-oh, I seem to have lost Mr. Morehead. Let's see if we can bring him back. Sorry about this, people. My people. Let's see. Gonna have to message him here. I do apologize for this. I don't know what happened. Okay, so I just messaged him. Hope that he can get back on. Yeah. Oh, no, Heidi. I know. Just when it's getting good. Let's see. Nothing on my end. Nope, I don't think. I just want to make sure that it's not me. But oh, there he is, I think. Oh, I apologize for the technical difficulties, everyone. Remove, add. Well, please be patient, everyone. We'll see if Ron can come back. I do hope so, because I have received quite a few messages saying that how much they were looking forward to seeing Ron on here, and so it's nice to get feedback like that. So I could probably say that Ron is a fan favorite. Oh, nope, he popped out again. Oh, jeepers. Okay, so I could start dancing a jig for you. I won't sing. It's not good. Anybody have any questions or comments in the meantime while we hopefully get Mr. Morehead back onto the stream here? Anybody? Nope. Let's try that again. There he is.
I made it. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I got 3 phone calls.
Oh, no.
Got to do something about that. Well,
That's okay.
I usually think about that, but I didn't think about this time.
No worries. There's always technical difficulties with podcasting.
Well, that's not technical. That's just not being alert on my side.
Oh, no worries. You made it back.
I did. Where were we?
So do you believe Bigfoot interact with humans' consciousness intentionally?
Yes. Okay, now, more to that. If they got the right frequency going on, these things are able to reach the frequency and mentally talk to them. And that's called mind speak, I guess they call it. I've never had that happen to me that I know of, but that's because I'm so analytical. I got to figure out, what made that come into my head? What made me think of that? And I never even considered that back in those days. But I think that's why I got the voices recorded that we recorded so much, because they wasn't able to mind speak to me. And I say not able. I wasn't able to relax enough to listen, put that way, because I think if I had all that to do over again, I would have done a lot of things differently. But who knows? Here I am, old man now, and it's all woulda, shoulda, coulda stuff goes on. But yeah, mind speak was just basically entanglement, quantum entanglement, and that's how it's called the universal. We're all part of a universal consciousness, and you see birds, flocking up in the sky all together, moving all at once, and same way the fish in the ocean, spooling together, and they're not talking to each other, and we have this ability to actually, if we just would turn loose and let it happen, we can mentally connect with other people.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. I've heard a few people. There seems to be more and more people talking about the mind speak that they have within that we just didn't hear about many years ago. So just makes me wonder, why are people just vibrating at the same as the Bigfoot?
Or vice versa,
Yeah.
I think they can pick up your vibration, just like an animal. A lot of animals do that. My horse could tell which way I was going to go just by me thinking about it, without me cueing him anyway with my knees or anything. He would know which way I wanted to go on a trail or something. Yeah. And animals have a way of reading the aura and sensing the energy around you. And I think these things have that same ability. Well, I'm sure they do, pretty sure. And they're unique. Whatever they are, they're unique. And they're not all the same. I got to say that right in the middle of all this, because I don't think they're all the same.
Like people.
Kind of, except we're all the same species. I'm not sure they're all the same species, to be honest. I think we've been visited by a lot of aliens over the eons of time. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of years. A lot of hybridization things are going on here from advanced intelligences. and they have just hybridized a lot of things. A lot of things. A lot of species here now are hybrids
Mm-hmm.
from probably an alien species that visited the planet, and that's what we are too. Really, if you get into all that deep enough. But you got to get into Mesopotamian, into the Sumerian texts, and understand what's really being said and how things happen, like our ancient texts, our Bible, and things like that. Because I was raised with the Bible, and that's the Word of God. That's all you can go by. Well, that's been gone through conditioned minds, and for all the way from Constantine into King James in 1611. Constantine started that, Roman emperor, and in fact that's what Constantinople is named after him.
Yep.
But he started the Nicene Creed, and a lot of people have heard about that. Well, that got all the religions into one place so that he could control. And so anyway, I forget where I was going with that. But like I said, I just ramble on, so
That's
you have to
okay.
interrupt me.
So let's see. Has the journey changed? How could I word this? How has this journey changed your spirituality or philosophical? Philosophically, I really can't speak tonight. I apologize. So, has the journey changed you spiritually or Oh, good grief!
Physically or spirituality or philosophically.
Thank you. Yes. Oh,
That worked
Lordy.
out. I got through that one.
It's a tongue
Well,
twister.
yes. I mean, I don't think it's changed me; just had me grow. I think I grow, and you guys got to keep learning and digging into things because the curious mind's a very, very good mind to have.
Yep.
And I've always been curious about stuff. And the stuff that happened in the Sierra camp was very, very, well, mystical. So I had to figure it out. So it keeps you looking, keeps you looking, keeps you looking. So being raised spiritually, being raised religiously, I knew scriptures quite well. I knew the first thing I started doing when I ran into this stuff was I looked in the Bible where giants come from.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you get into the fallen angels and the Nephilim and all that stuff, and is that true? Well, wow, there's all kinds of stories about giants all over the world. All kinds of cultures have stories about giants, but when you get into how the, some of those ancient texts was manipulated and changed for control over the popular, you find out that there's a lot of differences when you get into cuneiform text, which is the cuneiform or cuneiform, however you want to pronounce it. That's Siberian. Gosh, I didn't have enough for lunch. That's what's wrong. Or enough coffee. Or too much, maybe. That's it. Talking too fast. No, the Anunnaki. A lot of people have heard that name.
Oh yeah.
It gets in the cuneiform text was given to the Sumerians. Sumerians wrote it down. It's for oldest known written language known to us, and it goes way back to 3450 BCE. And you get into that, and you see how a lot of the words and the texts were, because they just got translated in the 1800s, by the way. But you can still see how it's been changed, because just about all the languages, written languages, have a core from that, including Hebrew. And when you get into how all that has been gone over the eons of time, hundreds and hundreds of maybe 1,000 years, you realize how much has been going on. And all things that were mentioned in the first 5-6 chapters of Genesis took several 100,000 years, according to cuneiform text, but it falls in identically to, when you get into Enlil and Enoch, not Enoch, Enki, you get into those two brothers, half brothers, and it mirrors a lot of things that were been said in Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
And you get into the deluge, the flood. Just about all cultures all over the world have records of that.
Yep.
I just encourage anybody to start delving into it. If you have an interest in it, if you delve into it, you'll find out all this stuff, and it's really, really, really a lot of interesting stuff and entertaining stories. I can't get into something if I'm not entertained by it or understand something about it. I can't read novels and things like that where Aunt Mary messed with Uncle Joe or something like that. She just can't. It doesn't interest me unless it's got some substance to it.
Yeah.
I like stuff with substance.
So globally, there are similarities. So, like you got Sasquatch, Yeti, Yowie, and so many other different names in North America. Are these creatures all the same creature, do you think? And then just because they're different parts of the world, they have a few little differences?
Well, there's yes and no on that one. I don't think they're all from the same genome, from the same maker, let's put it that way. Like I said, I think several types of advanced entities have visited this planet, and they've done things to different species on this planet. Bigfoot being one of them, us being another one. If you want to get into the Anunnaki story, they supposedly created us. I think he had a passion for humans. That's what made us so good,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
But then you got Enlil, who was the warring species. They fought a lot, like the two brothers in the Bible, and just you got to look into it. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Uh, but anyway, that's what made us what we are. But then our telomeres, which determined we're going to live so long, up to 120 years supposedly,
Yep.
were cut off and done with. However, man used to live a lot longer, and that's pretty
Yep.
much recorded. And I think because the density was a lot different on this planet prior to the deluge too. A lot of
Mhm.
animals were bigger, men were probably bigger, everything was
Yep.
bigger. But I think that's got something to do with the density of the air. I think it all changed when the terraforming took place. And that
Mm.
was probably 12, 13,000 years ago. Uh, but as far as them all being the same, in my opinion, they're not. But
Okay.
they could have a common denominator way back somewhere.
Hmm.
But like the ones in Nepal, up in the Himalayas, they're shorter. They're about 6 foot and 5.5 to 6 foot, but they're really
Mm.
robust. And yet their mitochondrial shows they got human in them. So just about all these things, when you get a quality DNA out of them, which isn't done very much because most geneticists won't touch the subject, but it shows the mitochondria, which is the maternal side, is a lot human. There's a
Mm.
human component in it like we have. So most geneticists or scientists will say, well, it's been contaminated. Well, that's not necessarily true. Perhaps it was, but I'm not sure. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not all of it. I think probably there's a human component in them, just like there's a human component in what we were dealing with up there in the Sierras.
Hmm.
And I've established that, I think, from a professional standpoint. Uh, you get Dr. Curlin, professor of electrical engineering at the University of Wyoming, who established their vocal mechanism was different than ours, superior. They could make sounds that were inside, outside, below, and above what we can do as humans, the average human. He was analyzed that of one that he thought, compared to human, was over 8 foot tall.
Mm.
Well, that's from our sounds. Then you got Scott Nelson, cryptolinguist, two-time graduate of the Foreign Language Institute in Monterey, California, for the military. Had a career in the military as a cryptolinguist, listening to unknown languages or unknown just codes to see if there's anything going on with for the military. And then he retired, went into school teaching foreign languages, Russian, Persian, and all that stuff. But anyway, he's a cryptolinguist that got a hold of these by accident, and he said there is a language within the sounds that you guys recorded. So you put that together with Dr. Curlin saying, well, it represents something over 8 foot tall, and then you got Scott Nelson, professional cryptolinguist, and they have a language. Well, language is very, very important, which we didn't know at the time just how important it was. But if you,
Hmm.
you think about it, you got Dr. Lieberman at Brown University, Philip Lieberman. He says only humans have that ability to speak like we're speaking now. Only
Hmm.
humans. You put those three dots together, it kind of gives you a picture of something that has to have a human component, unless you want to argue with the professionals. Because I don't argue it, I just say that's the facts.
Just the facts.
It's just facts. Just facts.
Well, it's interesting what you mentioned earlier. I never even thought of the vocal cords where you mentioned that they have more vocal cords than we do. I never even thought of that before.
We don't know that. That's just been suggested to me.
Ah, okay.
Till
Gotcha.
you find one and analyze it, you don't
True,
know
yeah.
that. Unless somebody somewhere can tell from the tapes that we have. Of
Mhm.
course, like the whistles that we have recorded. And we didn't record an infrasound or ultrasound. We didn't. we had a little cassette recorder. That's all we used up there.
Hmm.
And but the whistles we got were established through the studies that were done through the vocal mechanism and not the lips, like we whistle through the lips.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the throat singers, which are
Yeah.
prevalent in different parts of the country, who can do this stuff, sing two different tones at one time. You got to wonder just what their abilities are.
Mm.
And like I mentioned earlier, I hypothesize that maybe, just maybe, they can create a frequency with their sound mechanism that would allow them to go out of our visual perception. And because if you take any tone, and go the 49th octave, it'll turn into light. Now, that's something most people didn't know.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah,
That's
and yet there's
interesting.
people who say, "Hey, I seen a Bigfoot, then I seen a ball of light shoot off," or it
Yeah.
turns on, I see light. I've seen that, I've heard that a few times. Back at Renaissance, the people that are doing my movie on the Sierra Camp now, we've got a man and his son who saw just that, and they reproduced it very well, and showed where they was looking at a Bigfoot, and then it just went down into a ball of light and shot off. Well, that's energy matter transfer, which Dr. Paul Dirac got the Nobel Prize in 1933 for this. I talked to Ronnie LeBlanc. He's the one that's on that program, TV series, and he's into the same thing I am, because he's seen some pretty enigmatic things when he's in that series. Why did they name that series? You don't know. You do know. Everybody knows because it's very popular. Anyway, doesn't matter now, I guess. But energy matter transfer, 1933, Paul Dirac, Nobel Prize for antimatter. Antimatter is the direct exchange between matter and energy. If you find the frequency of anything, according to Einstein, according to quantum physics, you find the frequency of anything, you can change its matter. So if they can find the frequency through their vocal mechanism or through some other means, I don't know, whatever, but if they have that ability, they could go out of your perception, go right out of whatever your visual perception, which we only see within 430 and 770 terahertz. That's our visual perception. So there you are. I don't know what I was answering, but that was fun.
It's kind of, I was thinking of when a cat purrs, they say that a purr, that frequency will help heal. And I have actually had that because I used to get really bad migraines. I don't get them nearly as much now, but I used to have a cat that when I'd lay down, he would lay down right up against my head and purr. And that would help my migraine. And it's like,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, they have different eyesight ability too.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of animals can see things we don't see. A lot of animals can smell things we don't smell. Olfactory sense I'm talking about, not stink.
Yeah.
But yeah, you take dolphins, they all have a way of communicating and have abilities that fit with the environment they're in.
Mm-hmm.
And we think we're so everything on this planet, but we're not so everything. We may be, but we haven't learned to communicate with it yet. And but every animal on this planet has the ability they seem to adapt to the environment they're in. Mm. And we make our environment adapt to us. And that's, I never said that before. That was kind of interesting.
Oh,
yeah,
you just
we
coined
build houses. Yeah, I just coined it.
You just coined a new phrase.
Well, we get cars so we can get somewhere. We get airplanes so we can get somewhere. We make things so they happen for what we want. Well, anyway.
Getting back to the frequency thing, I'm also thinking of I've read a few things where pregnant women would be swimming with dolphins, and if they were having any morning sickness or anything like that, the dolphins just apparently have that frequency to be able to help with that sick feeling. So it's just amazing what animals can do.
It is. Joan Ocean lives in Hawaii. I've been out swimming with her before, and this lady I was with at the time was also swimming, and she had 3 dolphins just following her around, and all of us got back on the boat because we was through, and she stayed out there for a while, and we was watching a tiger shark over here off the side of the boat.
Oh.
And she thinks the dolphins were protecting her from that because the tiger sharks are hunters, they will hunt you. So that was kind of interesting. And Joan Ocean has written books too. She's a doctor, very very nice person. Her and her husband Jean Luc. Jean Luc. That sounds like a Star Trek something. Anyway, uh, good people. They live on a place in Hawaii, and we stayed with them over there. But it's
Nice.
interesting how animals, yeah, dolphins especially, they're very smart. Octopus are very smart.
Yes.
They will change colors right in front of your eyes, just like a cuttlefish or like a squid. I've dove among the squid before, and those things are spooky. I didn't realize how spooky they were when I was
Oh,
diving with
really?
them. Yeah. Well, at night they come up closer to the surface. I was down in Loretto scuba diving, and we was seeing all these little boats out there at night with lanterns in them. They were catching squid. They would they had these lures that would hold up their little lantern, and they would glow fluorescent. And they'd throw them in the water. You could
Hmm.
not catch a squid. They would hit them every time. And so we thought, well, we ought to check this out. So we bought a lure and got down the coast about 20 miles. And because there's not just 100 squids though, there's millions of squids. Those Humboldt squids, they're huge.
Wow.
And they when you do catch them, pull them up to your little boat, they will throw this black stuff all over you, just like an octopus does, and they change colors right in front of your eyes. Really interesting. And then we found out after we caught one or two that my gosh, these aren't little suction cups, they're little teeth.
Oh,
The little teeth on their tentacles there. And anyway,
you think they're just harmless little suction cups, but
well, like the octopus, but they're not like that.
yeah.
Anyway,
Oh,
it's
huh.
interesting. But they change colors also. Yeah, but it's interesting how nature adapts to, or animals that's in nature adapt to nature. Except for
Mhm.
us, yeah. Well, we're
Yeah.
adapting, I guess, in a way.
Oh, kind of force nature to adapt to us too, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think there's a new direction that Bigfoot research needs to move towards in the next decade or so?
Yeah, I think they should do it now. In fact, I think
Yeah.
they're already doing it. It's open-mindedness, realizing there's more going on with these things than what meets our through density eyeballs. Um, yeah, just realizing there's more going on than what they see, feel, or touch. It's not just Newtonian physics; it's working around us, in us, and through us. It's quantum physics,
Hmm.
and it's not that hard to understand. You never totally understand it because you're not meant to know the end of the universe. Can
Hmm.
anybody listening now know how far it is to the end of the universe? If they do, I'd like to tell me because there's no way you can know that because how can there be something with no end?
Mm.
What would it be? Or could it be? Anyway, that got me kicked out of the science club one time.
Oh no.
I said, I want someone to give me an answer. Everything's measurable, predictable, and all that stuff like quantum, like Newtonian physics says, everything's measurable and predictable. Somebody tell me that.
Mm.
It didn't happen. So that's where quantum physics is. It's unpredictable. It's just not measurable.
Mm.
Um, it can be instantaneous or not. And where Newtonian physics is, a ball drops. Well, everybody knows how that works. You can measure every part of a ball as it's going down to the bottom. But in quantum physics, it could be up here, then it can be at the bottom, or just like that, without measure, without nothing in between. It's kind of like our telepathy works. See, there's a part of quantum physics. We all have telepathy. We all have those deja vus. We all have
Yep.
things happen that we just don't know what's going on. But that's where you don't just get stumped and say, well, that's I'm dreaming or something. No, that's
No.
when you really just need to look into it deeper. There's no such thing as paranormal or woo-woo or nothing like it. It's all works under the rules of quantum physics. And if you just look into it, it's not a mystical. It's just unknowing. Once you know more, because you die for the fear, for the lack of knowledge, you die. And we need always, like I say, when you're green, you grow, and you're ripe, you rot. So you just want to stay green and keep growing and keep learning. And like I say, take things with substance and not novels or these soap opera things. If you can't say something nice about something, don't say nothing at all.
That's what my grandfather always said.
Yeah, I got that when I was a little kid down at Disneyland, I think it was. I went to that Big Bear something down there, and this moose up on the wall said, "If you say something good, don't say nothing at all." Well, that's true. And really, if you realize that your words are vibrational frequencies, and your words are so important, so you want to say what you want, not what you don't want. Don't get them say, "Oh, I feel horrible today." No matter what you really do feel like inside, don't say that, because that
Yeah.
just adds to the energy that's going to be created. Because
Mm-hmm.
our words are energy. They're powerful. And I think we got to learn to say things that you want. And that's why you don't talk negative about anybody unless you want them to be that way, because that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you don't say those things, because what if it doesn't do somebody good, don't say it. That's my philosophy anyway.
Yep. Like you said, if you're getting up in the morning and you say, I don't feel good, just sometimes what
Mhm.
I like to say is, this is going to be a great day.
Exactly. I did that
Yeah.
I do that every morning. I try to, if I remember,
Yeah.
if I'm not feeling bad. No, no, it's important to say those things, because I don't get sick. I haven't been sick in ages. Just because I
Nice.
say I'm healthy, wealthy.
Yep.
I'm healthy and wealthy. And I'm typed after the universe, because it's like I tell people, well, my son is typed after me. I mean, he's my son. He's part me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are part divine creation, and we don't know what that is. We call it God. Um, call it whatever you want to, but it's the divine, the master creator. And I think I was working through the ninth dimensional Anunnaki, really. And that's what we're designed to go to, is the ninth dimension, I believe. And there are other dimensions. I think most aliens are in the fifth and sixth dimension, unless they're going through the dimension of time, which is the fourth, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all this is my thoughts. Don't anybody take my word for anything about here. Just open the book and start reading, and you find that a lot of stuff starts making more sense than you ever thought it would. And the cuneiform texts, which are now, there's thousands of them, from the Sumerians. That's
Yep.
that's the eye opener right there, I think. But don't take away from who, because people think God is somebody floating up in the sky or something that's going to count every hair on your head and all that stuff. Well, that's not necessarily who we're typed after. We're typed after the divine being who created that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, that's my opinion. And I believe that we're part of that, every human being. And that's because of the way we were created. And because we're all hybrids.
That's
And
what they tell us.
yeah, well, we are. And Bigfoot is too. But I think they've been here, a lot of them have been here longer than we have, longer than Homo sapiens.
Yep.
And
I agree.
some have been here all this time and have advanced. And also a lot of them are crossbred with indigenous people, I believe. So that's what I think the Patterson film is a hybrid, really diluted down from crossbreeding.
Mm.
I think it's more, because you look at the tracks, even the prints that came off the Patterson trackway, and very human-like, very
Mm-hmm.
human-like. I got one of those from Bob myself, and they're not like ours. Ours are bigger, they're more splayed, and they're that way all over throughout the years. You go up there, you find the same track display, figuration. Gosh.
I think you caught what I had with being
Uh-huh.
tongue-tied.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway.
Well, I
Um,
have one more question for you,
oh boy.
and then it's the end already. Um,
Oh wow. Yeah.
if you had a message for new researchers entering the field, what would it be?
All right. I like that question. Who asked that question?
I just did.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are you a new researcher? uh, know who you are as a human, made very unique. Know what kind of opportunity you have to be here on this planet, to experience things, and just learn how to respond to experiences with a positive attitude, with love and compassion. Don't get mad at anything, because nothing to be mad about. If you experience this, because you had to learn something, and so learn something from it. No such thing as losing. and you learn something from every experience you got, and learn what good comes out of it, because good comes out of everything if you look for it. You find what you look for. So look for the good in people, and
Mm-hmm.
have that vibration going on when you go into the woods. Because when you go in the woods, if you really want an experience, just be who you are and keep your frequency the right way in a
Mm-hmm.
positive manner, and go in with respect, and don't try to trick anybody. Don't try to. I got a whole group of things that I talk about as far as what worked for us up there at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like I say 50 years ago. So, but it still works. I have people experience using these techniques. A lot of it, look for the sound of silence. Don't be afraid. That's the hard one right there. Don't have fear, because that's easier said than done. If
It
something
is, yeah.
12 foot tall comes out and screams at you, you're probably going to want to shoot at it or something if you got a gun.
Yep.
That's what I think was happening in Portlock, Alaska, when I was up there with those in that filming thing with the Discovery Channel.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's just I think probably this thing they were overfishing, over timbering, they were mining it. Everything you don't do to an environment, they were doing. And of course, again, that was the late 1940s, so no one's around you can really talk to, but you see pictures and you hear stories and you read the newspapers that were coming out then, and you realize that I think that's what was going on. So anyway, be who you are, be happy, and grow, and do your homework.
Homework, yes.
And I
And
have 3 books out.
oh, yes, please mention the books.
The film's coming out, Voices in the Wilderness. That'll be out after the first of the year. And I got a audiobook coming out in another week or so. It should be on my site, with ronmorehead.com. And what else I got going? Oh, I'll be speaking at Quinault this weekend, 22nd, I think it is, of, this is November. Yeah, November.
Yes, November.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm getting my
Thank you.
months confused too.
Hmm. So that's what I got going on. This podcast here and there. I had one yesterday. Got this today. Thank you very much, Kat, for doing this, and
Oh, you're
appreciate being
very
on.
welcome.
And if I talk too much, just tell me. And
No, it's like we mentioned
you
before we
know,
recorded. Yeah.
I usually kind of a quiet guy, but I tell you, when I get on these programs, I really get enthusiastic about this subject matter, because I think the world needs to know more about what's fixing to happen in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Things are happening. Exposures fixing to happen. UFOs are being seen more and more. Aliens are being seen more.
Yep.
Bigfoot is being seen more and more and more. There's not hundreds anymore comes to these. There's thousands of people come to these events now. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are interested in the subject matter, so they just need to, be good, be happy, and try to help somebody else along the way.
Yeah, I also believe that just because two people researching any topic, really, if they have two different views, don't get angry and say the other person's
Oh,
full of BS. Listen to
absolutely.
each other.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's exactly right. I'm glad you said that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a very
yeah.
good thing to say. Never down somebody else for having their opinion,
No.
and don't try to tell somebody else what to do. Mm.
Yep.
You can suggest it all day long, but don't tell them, because they got to respond to it themselves.
Yep.
That's part of the challenge we're here as human beings, to grow and learn from experiences. That's how we get out
So
of our
true.
third density, by the way. You're going to stay in this third density environment, either this one or another one, some other planet somewhere, until you learn love and compassion. That,
Definitely. Help.
that's what we're supposed to be all about.
Yeah. Well, thank you so very much, Ron, for being on the show again. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me and chat with the audience.
Oh, thank you, Kat. I appreciate it. A lot of fun, a lot of fun, and
Thank
very
you.
exciting. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. I'm going to take you out of the studio, say my farewells, and if you have a couple of moments, we'll just chit-chat for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So a huge thank you to my special guest, Ron Morehead, tonight, and to you, my wonderful audience, for tuning in. I also want to thank UPRN 107.7 New Orleans, 105.3 the Gulf Coast for carrying the show. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. It truly does mean the world to me. And if you'd like a little piece of paranormal heart to call your own, you can grab some swag like this Paranormal Heart Podcast mug for those of you watching the video. So you can send me an email at paranormalheart13@gmail.com. Until we meet again, take care of yourselves and each other, sending you all much love.